guys, King of Charmass here. Today I'll be your judge, your jury, and your analyst. And today I bring to you my top 5 teams for the Love Cup. Yeah, I might as well put this out there. I mean, Love Cup it was last month, okay? So, like, there really wasn't many changes at all. I don't even think any new Pokemon qualified. However, because of the fact that it's been out for a couple of times before and you've had a little bit of test on it, these are my top 5 teams for the Love Cup. These have been proven to do very well, or when I used them and practiced with them or seen other people use them, they've worked relatively well for them, and percentage-wise, they were actually really freaking popular. Also, one of the lines here that I did put for Talonflame actually went in and became like the #1 line. So, we're going to take a look at that, and we're going to try to figure it out. Anyways, before we get started with my top 5 teams for the Love Cup, this is going to be my mental health tip for the day. So, my mental health tip for the day is going to be, speaking of love, make sure y'all love your friends, okay? Check up on them and make sure they're all okay and Gucci, because the fact of the matter is there is a lot of things in this world that can possibly go wrong. So, with that being said, you never know when your friends are going to go anywhere. Also, family. So, check up on your friends and family, call them up, make sure they're doing good, and make sure you catch up with them, and make sure y'all maintain your friendships. And when something's going on, going to your friends is a great way. So, or your family, whichever one you vibe with. For me, I have my really close friend group for Pokemon Go. They're still my best friends. We've been best friends for 4 or 5 years. We went to a Brazilian steakhouse last week, and it was a lot of fun. Of course, my stomach, we ate so much food, and then they were like, yo, do you want to go to Daiso? And I'm like, you want to go to Daiso still? So we went over there. Well, we needed to walk anyways, so we ate like a bunch of food, and then I had tres leches cake, and then I had creme brulee. So then I had a bunch of dessert, and I ended up taking home for dinner, and then it was freaking crazy. So yeah. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. That is my mental health tip for the day. Again, make sure you check up on your friends and family. Make sure they are good, and then if you have anything going on, make sure you have that one friend or that close person you can talk to. Anyways, these are going to be my top 5 teams for the Love Cup. Hope you might have used these teams already, or hopefully they worked well for you last rotation, which was, again, literally last month. Let's get started. So team number 1 is Scrafty, Ariados, and Galarian Slowbro is going to be your safe switch. This happens to be it performed really well, and some crazy person was using it, and it did really well as far as data goes, and I practiced with it too, and it's pretty interesting. But, as you see here, Galarian Slowbro can function as a safe switch. With Focus Blast, you can possibly blast through Lickitung. You can also blast through Scrafty. So, that's why Slowbro is a really great safe switch. Technically, this is double safe switch because Ariados can also function as a safe switch. However, when you put Ariados versus things like Magcargo or Talonflame, you get walled. Well, not really wall. Well, if it's Talonflame, you can cross poison it, possibly win back switch. But when it comes to Magcargo just laughs at you as it burns you and all of your elo. And, well, today isn't an elo season, so it doesn't really matter. Anyways, really decent team. Again, if you want to have some fun, and you want to blast things with Galarian Slowbro, this is the team for you. As you see here, good coverage, not a lot of bulk because this team is just encompassing a lot of damage for the most part. And nothing is thick in this team at all. Except Scrafty. Scrafty is pretty much the balancer bulk, except the reason why I don't think Scrafty is that bulky is because when you put Scrafty against a Medicham, or unless if it's not revved up, then it's not really that great. But Scrafty in general can do very, very well for you in the Love Cup. And for the fact that Talonflame leads, as well as things like Ariados, give Scrafty a very hard time. That's why it's like, oof. But other than that, if you don't see those two, Scrafty can do really well at breaking shields, or 2. Again, if you switch into Galarian Slowbro, possibly Focus Blast through shields, you will see your opponent on the next episode of Dragon Ball Z. I'm just kidding. If you guys are anime fans, it's Dragon Ball Super now, but then, Dragon Ball Z was the old school one, so I'm going to go with Dragon Ball Z. But, again, if you lose with Scrafty, say switching Galarian Slowbro, Focus Blast through shields, or just win back switch. Hopefully, Ariados and Scrafty realigning them will get you come out with a W. Alright, for the next team, we have Ariados, Electrode safe switch, and then Alomomola to close out. Yes, I can say Alomomola because I've had plenty of practice thanks to the Love Cup. Also, Electrode with Hyper Beam is the right answer. If you look at the top teams, literally 90% of the Electrodes being used all have Hyper Beam for good reason, and it factually takes more matchups. You actually win the mirror against other Electrodes in the one shield and the closer if you're able to get beams through, or if you're in the closer and the foul play Electrode has no shields. Guess what? The Electrode with Hyper Beam wins. Electrode with Hyper Beam is goated, and it is better than foul play. Literally, there's no dispute. There's no argument. The data is there. It's just people that tell you to use foul play. They're, oh, I like foul play, blah blah blah, but they really can't tell you what to do. I remember like my friend was like, yo, you mean like this one guy? And then like I listened to him, and he was like, yeah, I like foul play better just because of the mirror. And I'm like, you know, in most scenarios, foul play Electrode actually loses the mirror. The only way you win is the 2 shield, and even then, like I mentioned, if they hyper beam you through shield, you still lose regardless. If you think they're foul play. So yes, Hyper Beam Electrode is factually better. So as you see here, this is a great team. A lot of bulk. Alomomola literally balances out the bulk factor for your team, and because of Electrode and Ariados, well, Ariados isn't a safe switch, but as you see here, A for safety. So great grades across the board, with your only 2 problems being confusion users like Wormadam Trash or Dredregon. Dredregon does really well against this entire line. Against Ariados, if you look at the 2 shield, I have to edit this a lot. You do lose, so you're gonna have to sack Ariados in the lead and try to come out with a win con. So what you can do is, as you see here, if you sack Ariados in the 2 shield in the lead against Dredregon, you can farm it down with Electrode, and then Electrode with energy can possibly beam the back row. Or you can send in a Alomomola, tank the damage, and then maybe Electrode can come out with the back row. So the dragon is very strong. Which I don't really get it, because if you could roast me in the comments, because I think I'm saying its name wrong, but literally the only reason this thing qualifies is because its dome is red. That's the only reason it qualifies for the Love Cup, and I'm like mind blown. I'm like, nothing about you qualifies for the Love Cup. The only reason you qualify is because your dome is red. But if you want to use this team, as you see here, it does really, really well. So if you want to use Ariados, Alomomola, Electrode, you want some bulk, you want debuffs, you want beams, this team is for you. Team number 3, we got Talonflame, Lickitung Safe Switch XL, and Medicham XL. So double XL in the back row. So I have 2 variations. My third and second one actually are just variations of the Safe Switch. Lickitung XL Safe Switch still does really well for the fact that you body slam everything to death. Now, if you get lined up against a Scrafty, obviously you are dead, because Scrafty can power up punch you to oblivion. But this team is still very well. Also, Lickitung with Hyper Beam is pretty freaking goated. The reason I haven't had a lot of practice with it, or have showcased it a lot, because I don't actually have a Lickitung XL built. It's gonna be really good, especially for like regionals and worlds. And in my opinion, XL should be banned, because they shouldn't be allowed in regionals or worlds at all, because they're too overpowered. And there's a power, but it takes out the power creep, but you know, it's what it is. A for coverage, solid grades across the board. If you look at it, your only weakness is Darmanitan standard, and my brain, Darmanitan is absolute garbage. Yeah, it's garbage. It's so freaking... The problem with Darmanitan is that it's so glassy. It will literally not live through anything. You could poke it and it dies. That's how glassy Darmanitan standard is. It's really, really bad. And I just want to shake... Because I tried to make content with it, and I was like, oh my god, this thing is so annoying. And yeah, it was really bad. So, yeah. Also, Talonflame Mirror. You gotta win the Talonflame Mirror. Of course, Mad Cargo is your worst nightmare with Talonflame. You could try to break a shield, etc., but generally Mad Cargo will destroy you. Also, Alomomola will take out Talonflame. So, but again, if you lose the lead, say switch in the Lickitung, and then maybe Talonflame and Medicham with shield advantage, or however that battle plays out in the back row will get you the W. This team has an insanely low threat score. In fact, the lowest one I think I've seen for the entirety of Love Cup. So, but the only con is, of course, you need a Lickitung XL. So, many of you probably have already used this team. This was actually a very, very popular team, standing at, I think, it wasn't the most popular one, but it was like up there. And this was a top 3 team as far as data goes. So, again, if you have a Lickitung XL, Medicham XL, this team is for you. Alright, next up we have the other variation I told you about. Actually, no, this isn't the other variation. I have the other variation as far as the next team, but this is Talonflame Double Fighter. So this was actually one of the most, I believe it was like the most common team in Love Cup when I was like looking at it. Like as far as like, I think in like week 2 data, this came out as the most popular team. It's ABB, Talonflame, Medicham, Scrafty. You lose the lead, you say switch in the Medicham, and you pray. Because if your back row, if they have a charm to back, you are screwed. Which is basically what it is. Surprisingly, I didn't see many Charmers. However, considering this is a freebie season, you might see a lot of Charmers in the back, so just be aware. Now, this team did factually perform very, very well. A lot of people are looking to just run through their sets, so this might be this guy right here. I might just be tapping my way to victory so that I could get through my sets. But, as you see here, we got Talonflame, Double Fighter. Again, like week 2 is like the most popular team. It still does really well. You could sack Talonflame, lead, break shields, and then your back row goes to town. If Medicham XL or Scrafty literally go Super Saiyan and go pop up to Oblivion, you will like run through your opponent in the back row. They have very positive matchups against a lot of meta outside of Charmers. So Charmers will absolutely annihilate you. As you see here, this team has the general basis of what every other ABB team does. The lead is supposed to cover the back row. And your back row is very strong generalist, except against every single freaking Charmer in the game, which is why numbers 2 through 6 are absolutely going to wipe out your back row. They're in the back. Like I mentioned, this was a very, very good team for week 2. However, no one's being mega tryhard sweaty right now. So, you might see double or triple Charmer. Triple Charmer might be great because Talonflame can possibly run through it, but at the same time, your opponent can 2-shield their way through Talonflame. So it's up to you. But outside of seeing the Charmer in the back, this team is still very, very good and did really, really well for those of you that like the ABB concept. And if you like the ABB concept, like I mentioned, week 2, most popular team, most common, can work for you and can still work for you as long as you don't see the Charmer in the back. And last but not least, this is actually my favorite team, Talonflame, Electrode, Safe Switch, and Medicham. Nothing super fancy. You lose the lead, you Safe Switch and Electrode, you Hyper Beam through shields, and then you take Switch, and then you realign with Medicham, and Talonflame in the back with shields can possibly come out with a W. Medicham covers Talonflame very well, Alomomola, or basically almost any of the water archetypes. Medicham can Psychic / Puppet's way to victory. Electrode takes out Slowbro, and again, it's just generally just a good generalist team in general, and, well, generalist in general. Good generalists, all 3 Pokemon are very powerful and also very, very meta, and Electrode through Hyper Beam can possibly take back her Switch. This was my favorite shoutcast. I had multiple 5-0'd with this team, so if you're looking to be sweaty, most of you probably already ranked 10 at this point, but also, this was also the most data-wise on PvPoke, this was actually the most popular team, standing at 3.9%. I did feature this team as my top 3 Talonflame teams, and this one came out as one of, this was one of the 3, and this is actually one of my favorites. As you see, A for coverage, you beam through the shields, you take back Switch, Medicham revs up, punch jumps in the back, and then you Omaiwa no Shinjuru, Fist of the North Star your opponent to victory with Medicham, and you come out with a W. I've also had a lot of people that commented saying this team did really, really well for them. So, if you like I said, if you want to be a little sweaty, this team is for you. Talonflame obviously falls to Mad Cargo. However, again, you Safe Switch to Electrode, possibly win back Switch. Medicham is also an option for you to Safe Switch. I do that sometimes too, but generally, I will just switch into Electrode. Win back to Switch because you know I love the beams. #getbeamed, and then you win back Switch. Medicham revs up, and then you punch your opponent down in victory. Or Talonflame with shields, hits them with the Suburban. And as in Brave Bird, for those of you that don't know why, that little nickname I use for Brave Bird when it comes to anything in Go Valley or just PvP in general. And again, low threat score, does really well, and was one of the most popular teams, and was the most common team and most popular team, and did really well overall as far as ratings go. You want to beam your way through shields, like heavy Suburban damage, and then you have a Medicham XL, this team is for you. And that's GG's. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Love Cup wasn't removed too long ago, so I think they might make that stupid new bird that came out. I don't know, Orochi, whatever Orochimaru. I'm thinking about Naruto. If you aren't an anime nerd, we can be friends, and I love anime. But the little the bird thing that dances and stuff, I don't know. And maybe Florges? No, not Florges because it's not red or anything like that, but. Maybe, I don't know how they updated Love Cup. I'm assuming they're going to go from the last format just not to do anything fancy. And Love Cup is only a week, so don't stress about it. Also, it is Sandshrew Community Day today, at least for me. So for those of you, I hope you got all the shinies, the shundos, And make sure you get that Sandshrew XL build, because Sandshrew XL is really, really dope for Go Battle League. I didn't make a video about it because it's just really not worth it. Unless it's a theme comp, regular Sandslash doesn't do anything. Sandslash Witch Shadow Claw is really interesting, but generally Sandslash Witch Shadow Claw will just do better against like Psychics, etc. You want a Sandshrew XL. That's what you want, because for those of you that watch my Canada Cup run, Sandshrew XL is so goated. Speaking of goated, if you think I'm goated, or if you do enjoy my content, please like and subscribe. It's totally free next to Douche Charmanders. If you put your mouse to the bottom right with the sub box, you can easily subscribe from over there. Really appreciate my subscribers. I really do love you guys. I hope you guys are doing well, and I hope you had a wonderful Sandshrew Community Day. Good luck on your Go Battle League sets. I hope you have fun in the Love Cup, and I will see you guys on the next video.